whatever the front lines of this topic are. But those questions were going to be the guide to the things we'll discuss. I share with you the hesitance to talk too much about the practical stuff. I feel the same way you do. I know, and I know how you're feeling about it. So we picked more sciencey questions, and then if you can answer at all, how you think it informs interventions in school or what parents can do, they would appreciate that. Just don't feel any pressure. Are you nervous? You look nervous. How you doing? Yeah, how are you feeling about this event?
No, it's good. I'm, the furthest away from the teaching side. I am not a teacher, and I have an MD, but I'm not a clinician either. So the science is more my bread and butter. But scientists all talk in a certain way with hesitation and ambiguity. So I'm not sure how much I should wear my scientist hat or my, bottom line that makes it sound like sometimes the scientist wants to hold their ears. And so it's a little bit of a tricky line, but no, it's all good. These are all great questions. I think I would stay away from answering direct questions like which programs work. Those are all kind of there's lose-lose sort of questions. Yeah. I might talk about the kinds if you do want to get into that kind of practical questions and from the science side, but and how to look for good interventions more than go and do X, Y, and Z like a commercial.
Oh no, I mean I'm right there with you. I think like you do along those lines. I actually cringe when I get asked questions that like, how do you save my child in 4 sentences? I have like panic attacks when I get questions like that. But look, I'm there to support you guys as well. That don't feel like you're in a lifeboat. You're without a lifeboat, whatever the metaphor is. But how can we bring Jack more into this as well? Like Jack is such a unique human being, and like in addition to a story, I mean, Jack, you have thoughts about dyslexia and words of inspiration, wisdom for these parents?
Well, I dyslexia is cool, and I think everyone should be dyslexic.
Say that.
I wrote a piece on the extraordinary characteristics of dyslexia.
Well, that's beautiful.
It really is.
Talk about that. I'm adding that to the itinerary here. The extraordinary. This is great. The extraordinary characteristics of. So maybe after your story, that's something we could kind of jump into is what are the. Okay. We could start with strengths. Everyone always starts with the weaknesses. They always do that. How could we remediate? But yeah, I'm down to kind of jump into the strengths and then the latest neuroscience.
I think even like if we could take one question, like how do you define dyslexia? And I can talk about an interesting scientific definition of dyslexia, and you can ask Jack how should dyslexia be defined, and he'll have a much more interesting and fascinating story to tell.
Yeah, that was on the list.
I think he should do the 90% of the talking. I love hearing Jack speak.
I can't wait to hear Jack speak. I also can't wait to hear you speak, but I've heard you speak before, and it's beautiful. But I've never heard Jack talk, and I've heard you talk about Jack.
Yes, no, I can't stop talking about Jack. He's fabulous. And
Jack, he talks about you like keynotes. Did you know that?
No.
All the time. It was the end. It all started when I asked you for a photo of your childhood, and I heard you speak at the IDs conference, and you shared your photo. So now I have unlimited lifetime. I take it as you gave me lifetime permission to use that photo. So I'll keep on talking as long as you don't revoke that from me.
Stephanie, what do you think about if Fumiko sent you those pictures ahead of time? Is there a way we could broadcast them with Jack's permission, obviously?
Jack might have better photos, but I definitely have a photo.
Maybe we could project some of those pictures.
Yeah. We could definitely do that. If you
I remember, Jack, you had a photo. I remember that talk so well, the IDs talk. It was so powerful and I loved it so much. And I try to kind of imitate and kind of repeat what you told me to some other people, not at keynotes, because I couldn't do that well. But you had a photo of you in front of a truck when you were a truck driver, for example. Do you remember that, using that photo?
I've just got a lot of pictures, so I don't know. Who knows?
Send some of them to Stephanie.
I remember you saying that you were a truck driver, something along the lines of you were a truck driver, and you had a great outlook in life, but then other people didn't think so or that much at that time.
Yeah.
And so when you talked about that, that was still in my memory, among many other things. And here you are.
Here we are. Well, you know, I have lots of pictures, and I don't know. I just dig holes in the ground. That's all.
Love it. But you're so interesting.
Do you want to ask Jack to send some photographs? I don't have any except for the ones that I steal from online or the one that he gave me as a child.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what you want. I mean, you know, a picture digging here and digging there, and
Or you teaching Chapman?
or
Anything from childhood.
childhood, yeah.
Oh, Chapman.
Because that's what I'm mostly gonna. I mean, yeah, that's the story you want to hear, right?
You could tell us any story.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to tell us other stories?
No, I don't know. We're talking about dyslexia here. No, I probably shouldn't, probably shouldn't get too much into, dinosaurs and stuff.
Wow, that's super interesting. So I wouldn't mind if you talked about, I don't think Stephanie would mind if you talked about dinosaurs either.
I just love Jack's stories on his creativity, or the way he describes his discoveries and the creativity that goes into it. That seems very, very unusually kind of creative for any academic and paleontologist, and the approaches he took and the way he framed it in some of his talks. I think those are all fascinating. And so
I'll talk about that stuff. I mean, that's part of what I think is cool about dyslexia. Reading, we pretty much think reading is overrated.
Well, we're almost in a post-literate world, right?
What?
I feel like we're about a stone's throw away from a post-literate world with how much we sort of communicate with images and audio now. So
Yes.
might be something there.
Now we're going toward a dyslexic world.
That's right. Well, I think, Stephanie, do you have everything you need in terms of your tech check? I think
yes, I would just, if we want to display those photos, I would just need those photos, but I know how to display them. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Fumiko, send some pictures to her.
I only have one picture that you sent me, but I will definitely share that one.
All right. Well, Stephanie, just request some pictures and I'll send you some, and you can sort through them.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And Jack, Fumiko, and Scott, are you guys in contact enough in terms of the questions that Stephanie was able to bring together, and you guys all have that as a body of material at this point, or is there anything else we can do to
I haven't read
facilitate
it
that?
yet.
Okay, but they're there.
I probably won't read any of that.
Okay. Well, then, as long as you know it's there, that's all I ask.
I think if there's other tricky questions we might avoid, or kind of that I know I'm going to reframe or something, I'll send it in advance after I look at the video and get a better sense. So I plan to do that tonight or